so we're gonna ask it. When it comes to kind of the formation, like for just example, for Semper, right? Like the 3 different players from 3 different areas all coming together. Do you think in tournaments like this, outside of the structure of having like a standard ones player and a standard threes format, do you think that there is a bit of a honeymoon period where you could just form a team of 3 and just see how it goes versus teams that are a little bit more composed like OWL that have a little bit more structure than and time together?
Sure. I think honestly it could go either way. It's not like the biggest. I think there is a honeymoon period. I also think there are times where, you know, there is experience does pay off.
Yeah.
I think it goes both ways, honestly, when you really look down at each individual instance of it. But so far, OWL certainly coming out on top here in the first 20 or so seconds. As they put away that first goal, Semper just kind of overcommitting. Now Chaussette trying to make the difference. As Cassio and Semper wrap back around and race back to the other side. OWL looking to threaten again.
It's a great one towards the top of the bar, but instead quickly denied and cleared away. A lot of boost right now for OWL Esports. And again, their road here was rather interesting for this squad as a whole. I mean, they find themselves now in the lower quarterfinals, but it didn't used to be that way. They took down Pirates, who again will go on to play FaZe, and they played against Furia. Took it to game 4, but eventually did fall there. But still, playing against Furia and taking them almost to a game 5 is pretty much a notable accomplishment. Great pick right through the midfield, and Senzo will make it 2-0.
Fantastic read here from Senzo, and Semper just a little careless with the ball. That's a heavy touch from Exotic, and a fantastic tackle there from X. And Senzo able to just kind of come through and push that one home. OWL all over Semper here early on, the first minute, or just over the first minute here, up 2-0.
That's been a quick jump, but quick kickoff again. Chaussette trying to put something towards the net. He'll do so. Currently no boost. Great challenge. Finally some pressure beginning to mount for Semper, but can Exotic get back towards the play and recover nicely? It seems so. Through the corner we go with now chances for OWL, but as we stretch laterally, it's going to be up to Chaussette to try to clear this ball back to midfield. And while he kind of does, I love these challenges we're seeing from OWL Esports of not allowing these touches cleanly, and it's forcing Semper to have to continue to play the ball down to the ground and get these flips up to one another.
And that's the best that Semper has been able to kind of throw up downfield as a good flip reset. Relieves some pressure from OWL. Senzo goes under 1, but a great read from Cassio. Opportunity here for Semper. They can get someone up after it. OWL very slow to react, and a good shot is saved off the post. OWL again putting up some good defense here.
It's a great pinch out. Eventually led way to a clear. We'll miss the hit. We'll call it a tactical whiff. About 2 minutes, 50-some change still to play through. A lot of time and about half this game gone by, but it has been all of OWL Esports. Some chances for Semper as they've moved upfield and start to establish their rhythm just a hair. Is that one again, 50 away. Kept up though by Exotic. You got Chaussette waiting in the wing. He'll get his chance now. Trying to keep the ball in play. Exotic looking for boost. Another center back out. Dangerous touch there from Senzo, but he will clear it. And with that, OWL will have a chance to breathe.
And we're halfway through game 1 here. Like we said, game 1 is a good indicator, or trying to find who's going to be playing well.
Sure.
The only indicator we have between these two teams at the moment right now, Semper, that's a good bump on the last man there from Exotic. Cassio gonna get one back, catching OWL out, pushed up a little bit too far, and a good touch there, beats the last man. Semper finally on the board.
And you're going to take those kind of opportunities when OWL are triple committing up the field, really putting the pressure on as an offense and trying to force their way through a third goal. Instead, you play patiently and you just kind of take what you're given and poke it free. And I like that poise from Semper. Now, if they can convert another one, we'll have ourselves a tie game. They didn't waste a lot of time on the last goal, but Chaussette will get the kickoff win and try to get it to Exotic before quickly taking it back as OWL Esports now in a race down the field. All the time in the world and all the bumps as well. It's a big dump from Senzo, and he gets it to make it 3-1.
Challenge game. Incredible here from OWL. That's another one that's just going straight through the up defender of Semper. Chaussette did his best, but when Senzo's barreling down your box like that, tough to make the save, and OWL get one back here, less than 2 minutes to play. And I definitely feel like OWL obviously in control, but the reason why is because of that challenge game, as I just mentioned. Feels like Semper a little bit slow behind the ball, and OWL certainly taking advantage of that.
Yeah, every time you feel like, you know, you're starting to kind of crawl back into these matches, all of a sudden just an explosive push downfield. And I like the kind of attention to I want to say trust, because it's not even the right word, but I guess just kind of the confidence is what I'm going at. The confidence right now for OWL is just, hey, we're going to take it right upfield and score. Like, we're not going to waste time playing laterally. We're not going to try to waste time looking for each other. If you have an angle, if you have a lane, just take advantage of it. And the bully ball certainly came to fruition, as it forced Semper to have to fall back and respect a little bit more. And now they are looking for a closer connection, as that pass will go awry. Shawset trying to keep it up, but unsuccessful in doing so. Exotic slowing it towards the midfield. 60 seconds to play with. Casio following in with the ball, but they lose possession yet again.
Some great work there from Semper to put on some pressure. Gotta find the back of the net. Still plenty of time. They just need something with time left on the clock, but you certainly don't want to wait till the last second. Now, so threatening here. That one's dangerous at the top of the box. Follow-ups there, and Senzo to make it 4 for OWL.
That double tap is disgusting. It's a great bounce. And that extra follow-up. I mean, Shawset kind of give it back to him. There's really nowhere else to play that unless you play it low and back towards midfield, which hindsight, you probably should have, but it's just so easy for Senzo to take it from there. And, well, what was a close start of this game quickly did not become that. And we're looking at a Game 1 win for OWL Esports as they look to go up 1-0 very quickly with a series advantage. And now with 1s or 2s coming up for Semper, what do you expect we'll be seeing out of them? Do you think we're going straight to 2s if they know how good Fahad is?
Probably 2s. We haven't seen 1s out of Semper yet. I would guess 2s, though I don't think that's an easy matchup, or even much easier than the 1s matchup, but I think having an extra player there to make the difference makes them feel more comfortable, as Semper might get 1 for the road. They will. 4 seconds left on the clock. Casio gets another as they double their score, but a certain win here in Game 1 for OWL.
Well, it's possible. It's possible. I'm not going to say possible. I tried so much copium. It's so much. Wait a minute. Okay. Someone's there. Okay. Scared me a little bit, but that's going to be Game 1. And a very clean one at that. I
played F16. It was Riyadh and clears, and it is Shawset and Exotic again. And Fahad next to take the field for OWL Esports. See if Semper can have a little bit more success as they will find the first goal. Exotic taps one in wide open.
Well, that'll help things. Finally get themselves on the board first, and hopefully for them, they hold that lead. Great touch from Exotic. And as these days have gone on, as the matches have concluded and the bracket has populated, we have been seeing more interesting and tightly contested 1s games and 2s games. And I hope we get the same thing here. But it has been a fun evolution, I think, of this tournament, where it feels a lot more chaotic in a good way. Oh my God, what a challenge. But it seems like we're seeing a higher caliber of play as the bracket continues.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. Obviously the better teams filtering up towards the top as they would in a tournament like this. Wants a second touch here. OWL having to put on a defensive display, but also has the offense as well. Now, 2v1 situation. Exotic's going to take to the sky, and he's got to go over Fahad. He's going to try and go for the dunk. And Fahad plays that nicely to get OWL out of a very dangerous position.
It's a comfortable catch there from Shawset as well. And Exotic is more than happy to pop it high if it means that, well, you can kind of clog the lane in the same single file traffic and either force the boost grab or force them to play up one-on-one on the ball, where you might win the 50. And with Shawset continuing back into the play and Exotic running point now, the pressure again still here for Semper. Not leaving off by much, as X trying to get it over won't be able to do so. And Shawset will try to take it off the sidewall. Can he make anything out of it? There's a bit of boost to burn, right back down. Can't bounce it over, but it was a decent attempt, and a follow-up will be there from Exotic.
And you can tell the pace of play certainly picked up here from Semper, doing a great job of putting on pressure, a lot of misdirection, threats of bumps as well in that play in particular. And you can see what happens. OWL Esports get a little wrapped up inside of their own box. Semper able to double things up here, 3:36 on the clock here in Game 2, and so far the pick of 2v2 paying off for Semper.
Looking for the third. Ooh, that's dangerous, and there will be 3-0. And this one's going by very quickly. I mean, granted, it's only been a minute, but Shawset dictating the attack. Nice little fake. And Exotic quickly getting the call. And that's a lot of trust in Exotic to make that route happen. And already a 3-0 lead where OWL haven't really won a kickoff. They've just been kind of sitting on the defensive half of this game. Finally now a chance, but it's taken away.
Yeah, the French duo here very strong for Semper.
It's always the French.
It's always the French. They're so darn good at Rocket League. And by the way, so are a lot of these MENA players they have.
Yeah.
And twos is kind of their game mode too as well. That's the one that a lot of these players grind here in Saudi Arabia. And right now they have their work cut out for them in OWL Esports. Semper taking them apart. And some space here for Exotic. Won't be able to get back to it. But a decent recovery. Just didn't have enough boost to get back after the ball. Now Chaussette trying to slow things down. Make it tough for OWL to break that defensive line of Semper.
Decent little challenge there. Won't be able to get the boost. Chaussette has a lot in the tank. He'll take it himself. Just kind of corkscrewing his way down to the ground, but instead, it's been easily read multiple times by OWL Esports. They just haven't been able to convert. Finally, a chance off the back wall. Slow roller. Chaussette will get there. A little bit scary, but hey, it works out. That was not a pinch. As Exotic will take possession and try to run point, but
been there.
It seems that now, like, OWL are now kind of scrambling to not only get possession, but they're really forcing these counterattacks. They kind of know that they don't have a lot of time to work with, even with 2 minutes to go.
Yeah, being down by 3 and 2s. Not the same as being down by 3s in 1s, especially. You can kind of lock down the game a little bit more. That's a good dunk, as that was saved off the goal line. Exotic couldn't follow up. Maybe a chance here for OWL. A second attempt at a pinch, and it was going in for Chaussette. If Fahad was not perfectly positioned for that, my goodness.
I mean, it's like, this is how you do it. It just nails it. Wild stuff, but a very quality and steady performance throughout. Is that... it might be centered. Yeah, no, a little too hard. But I think that at this moment in time, just kind of given how the structure of this game's gone, the ebb and flow that has been there for Semper, it clearly feels, unless we see something different happen, which almost worked off the ceiling, you're going to kill time here if you're Semper. All you have to do is just continue to play the ball upfield like they're doing. The more you have to chase, the more time that gets pushed off the clock. And with that, I'm going to be biased caster number 1 and call it that Semper will be taking game number 2 and tying up the series 1-1.
Yeah, which means we would guarantee to see a 1v1 matchup. Semper hasn't had one quite yet, which would be exciting. And they certainly have had a lot of control here in this game. And you can see right now, I think they've really kind of leaned back and just are preventing OWL from doing anything, right? They're giving them the space to kind of mess around with it and taking the high percentage challenge and just kind of bopping it left and right, making sure OWL can't really set anything up. Always in the face there, like Chaussette, just diving down in front. They're not trying to necessarily score, just to keep it awkward for OWL.
And let him get the possession or like the recovery back off the back wall, but then they're immediately challenging. And from there, it's much more difficult. It was like 3 goals on 7 shots, maybe 8 shots for Exotic. Chaussette kind of facilitating upfield and really just filling in the gaps when necessary. 1 save as well, but with only 5 seconds to go, that's going to be game number 2. Tie series, as Semper will even things out in game number
series, but also because you know, there's a lot of momentum going into that 1's matchup, and that sometimes can be the difference. We've talked about that multiple times here on this B stream, just about how feeling good and confident in yourself can lead you to play at a different level. We've seen that so many times in Rocket League. It's one of the strangest things in this esport. Absolutely nothing can change other than someone's mood, and they will play at a higher level, as Cassio getting the first goal here for Semper.
It's a great extra touch. And a beautiful pass, beautiful touch from Cassio. The 1-2 play downfield, and that's the beauty of Semper. When they get it going, they can click from any sideline. Already 10 seconds in, finding themselves a goal.
And a good start for Semper, right? We criticized them in the previous 3v3 matchup. Didn't like the way they looked. This is a fantastic way to get game 3 kicked off, jump back into your 3v3 matchup, and put OWL playing from behind is, I think, very, very crucial.
Well, this one kind of hangs in neutral space, but Exotic's going to come meet this ball. And here comes the pressure now as Semper pushing numbers upfield. Chaussette left on his lonesome, still alive in the play. Breakaway chance, great shot. Better save from Exotic, has to flip it high, and luckily Cassio was already rotating around to meet that angle. And they'll grab the midfield boost, so resources are here for Semper. Beautiful read from Chaussette just to win the 50 and play it down to the corner, but no one else around. And a strong flip out and then a long clear. Okay.
Trading blows here. Oh, and he gets back to it. Cassio quickly jumping after that one. as both teams kind of share an interesting possession of just blasting it downfield with a flick. Follow up here from Casio. Demo comes out. Follow up was there, but couldn't get a second touch. Still Semper trying to clamp down here. Owl in a tough position. Bumps coming out, but Senzo saves the day. Clears it downfield and gets OWL Esports out of a very tough situation.
You got about zero. Oh, got no boost right now, or as Fahad was able to pick up some. And Senzo working on an empty tank. Chaussette, can he get it?
Oh.
Just hits it off the back wall again. Not the angle he wanted. Would love a redo at that one, but it could have been a 2-0 game. Continues to sit at just 1 goal. As OWL Esports now trying their hardest to put something on target, and they have pushed so much up at a time. Just seems like they're not finding the angle they want.
And it's a different, mentality when you're playing from behind, especially when it's this long. Semper have done a great job of adapting. I think that first game was just a little bit slow. They had to wake up into this series. They have a lot more control, a lot more intention behind the ball. You're seeing a lot of appointment downfield that Semper are finding. Guys that are just sitting deep in the OWL side. As that one goes off the crossbar and in for Exotic, it's 2-0 Semper.
That's a great read. Good patience from Exotic as well. Waiting for the play to develop, takes advantage. And a complete reversal from game 1 where it seemed that OWL were having responses for basically everything. 2 demos off the kickoff. Now 2v2, back to full strength for both teams. How quickly Casio denies the offensive push and kills the ball back out to midfield. Great redirect. But possession yet again. OWL Esports looking for a center, looking for something, maybe a pass. Could this be it? Nope.
Great touch. Good control there. As OWL trying to threaten here. Semper still holding on to that 2-goal lead. 2 minutes left to play. Exotic. Flip reset. Doesn't get it. And taken away by Senzo, who has just been crucial as that last man or the first defender. This one, he's going to find the post. Fahad won't get there in time. Chaussette gets back to it. We had Fahad's view there. I didn't even see Chaussette coming.
That's such a powerful read. A huge, 112 I know was on the goal, but it felt like it was just from the touch itself. Banks it off the bar. Follows up on the own play. Second touch is there. This is good rugby right here. And that's going to be a 4th goal, maybe. Oh, man. Casio a little bit off target. Saved away. The accuracy issues have been there. Exotic stabilizes on the back wall and still gets it back down to the front of the box. So there's been some issues with accuracy for Semper, but they've made up for it for the fact that they're up 3 goals right now. It's just a little bit worrisome.
Yeah, OWL certainly have their work cut out for them. Down by 3, minute and a half to play. And scoreless here as opportunities have been there. This is a good chance. Senzo wants to play it slow. Still Semper so punched up on the line to make good saves. That gets over the last man. It's 4-0 Semper and certainly a Game 3 victory.
Yeah, we're definitely going to 1 now without question. And, it's going to be a interesting dichotomy between the 2 that we eventually see, and we would assume half of that will be Fahad. But, I think that I want to say this is just a kind of victim of circumstance situation for OWL, given the fact that this 3 just hasn't gone their way. But you lose the 2s, you lose the 3s, and back-to-back games, all of a sudden Semper just seem to have, in terms of pace, have woken up and have really kind of figured out how to approach OWL on their own side of the field.
Yeah, but I think if you're OWL, you feel pretty confident in your 1's matchup.
Sure, yeah.
Although I think it will be difficult, but I think for OWL, you are feeling like you might get another chance at the 3's matchup here in the final game if they were to get there, but they're certainly losing this game 3 as it has just been locked down from Semper. They have not allowed OWL to have a quality chance. And they kept the pressure on throughout this game. We had criticized Semper early on, but they have really turned it on in their last 2 games. In the 2v2 and the 3v3. They've looked a lot better, so you can maybe just chalk game 1 up to just being slow, waking up, kind of feeling out their opponent. Exotic's just going to take this one, say thank you very much, I'll put 5 away.
It continues. Not a lot of time left in this one. It's done. That's going to be game number 3. Going to Semper. Making it 2 in a row. Leading the series 2-1 in a dominant 3s fashion. Finally a kickoff that feels like it might lead to something, but still, as everybody commits on the goal line, This one might end at 5-0. Can Exotic put a 6-1 through? Maybe. But, so this has been about as lopsided.
Especially when you are winning, as they were. And I was about to allude to this as we jump into it. He will be the 1v1 representative going up against Fahad. This was the expected matchup from Semper, at least. We knew we were going to get Fahad. And Semper, this is the first time they're showing their 1v1 representative, if you will, as Fahad will just take the easy flick, and he places it to the left side. My goodness.
Wow. Slight little hesitation. Gets it right where he wants it.
Oh, man.
That Exotic was beat so badly. It's a beautiful read.
I mean, you can even tell with the way Exotic flipped after it. He just had no idea what Fahad just did. He just did not expect that, but he picks this one away from Fahad. Fahad off the kickoff, and Exotic will get one back.
And we continue to trade. Fahad just flips away. I love it. Exotic, again, very patient, and I think that was obviously reminiscent in the threes that we just saw, but you're not going to get him to bite on much. If you do, you're going to take advantage of it, as Fahad will win the kickoff. Looking for the midfield boost, will get so. High off the back wall. Still played down, risky challenge, and that's one of the dangers. It's going to get in.
What?
Exotic punishes, and that slight slip up from Fahad gives Semper the lead.
And that's the interesting thing about high-level ones is I think most people would look at that kind of play of where Fahad moved and say, okay, yeah, he's going to rotate back. That's what you're supposed to do. But that was a misplay, and Exotic saw it and just was able to sneak it by Fahad, and Fahad did get a piece of it. As now Exotic puts Semper in the lead here. I think Fahad just trying to get into the groove of things as Exotic's going to take to the sky. Very dangerous situation. Flip reset looming. Lets it come down. Wants the pinch, and there it is again, Spaceman.
Yeah.
We've talked about this play so much. It's so popular now. Options galore when you get this flip reset, and this pinch is so strong.
How many times we watch players attempt that exact ground pinch, and it just sometimes it's a little bit short, a little bit too far forward. But when it does land, dude, how do you block it? You just can't. There's no answer. It's so beautiful. And whether you're taking it from the ceiling, from the sidewall, or just from midfield, the options you have available at your disposal is brutal for a defense. Fahad tried his best, but that is now two goals that you get burned by. Exactly. There's honestly, what are you going to do? The only thing you really can do is hope that you maybe get a block towards the upper bar and try to play it down. But from here, Fahad trying to even it up, potentially make it a one-goal game. He will be able to do so. Great patience, good read. And nice poise as he moved into the goal.
Yeah, fantastic way to sit behind the ball here from Fahad. Tried to get the flick, and I think he's happy to see that one actually get over Exotic.
Yeah.
Otherwise, that one would have been a counterattack easily for Exotic. Gets one back here for OWL. Into the kickoff we go, which has been a struggle, I think, for Fahad so far. Exotic playing it quite methodically. Here he is again. Ceiling, flip. Won't be able to get it towards the net. A little bit too high. Fahad happy to see that one go over.
A lot of time here in this game, number 4. Serious point right now for Semper if they can put it away. For OWL Esports, though, again, trying to send it to another 3. It's so weird just saying send it to another 3. My brain is breaking, but you get the idea. You've been here. You know, chat. Fahad trying to play to the midfield, quickly challenged and denied by Exotic. Now working with space to the corner. It's a bit of room to work with. Straight down. What a read from Exotic. And what a quick commitment on the play.
He can score from anywhere. And this is like the 3rd time we've seen him go up off the ceiling. And the angle is so sharp there that as a man on the back wall there, as Fahad was, it's very tough to get back down once it gets under you. And that's kind of the beauty of a shot like that from Exotic. And Exotic, he's done well just to be creative and kind of catching Fahad off guard. And every time we go to Fahad's FOV, we're looking at Exotic and you can't find him. He's done a great job of hiding behind the ball and not giving Fahad any information on how he's approaching the tackle.
Yeah, it's such a steep angle as well. You're going to have to essentially force the shot as soon as you get your car overturned. And, I mean, well, he does it. But Exotic's also done a very nice job of basically challenging Fahad on possession right when he gets it on his own side of the field. And then he'll fly back like he does now, play it through the blue half. Baiting, flipping over. Is it enough? No.
Good patience. from
This just
Fahad.
killed more time.
That was a tough one for Exotic to score, and I think Fahad knew that. Patience was there. But look at the speed from Exotic. You didn't even see Fahad on your screen. Exotic moving so quickly once he won the challenge. And great work just to catch back up, and Fahad didn't even get back in time.
How quickly he turned through the boost back into the goal line. I swear, sometimes these players do things that I don't think are possible. It's just... it's impressive from Exotic. Then you'll get back another chance for Fahad. 3 goals now for him. Keeps it within 2.
Yeah, that's exactly what Fahad needed off the kickoff here. Finally winning one, and I think a little bit more control. I think a lot of these kickoffs have popped out to the side, or it's gone in Fahad's possession, but Exotic had been placed so perfectly behind the ball that Fahad has no choice but to dribble into him with no boost.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, we've seen this one before.
With deja vu, here we go.
Oh my gosh, that time he faked it. And again, I talked about the creativity from Exotic. That was the exact same setup, but did something completely different. And it did get by Fahad. He's just lucky that Exotic couldn't get the next touch.
Yeah. Good win by Exotic. Okay, that was an interesting pinch. Fahad kind of gives it right back. Uh-oh, a little bit dangerous here. But Exotic, I think patiently and smartly, not following up immediately on that challenge. If he misses or plays it wrong, it's an open net in the back line, and that's the last thing he would want.
Great work here from Exotic. He's just so patient. He's been so smart behind the ball. I think it's been a little frustrating for Fahad to just kind of back up Exotic and get his own space. You can see here he is kind of getting that now, and unfortunately a shot. Not enough power behind it, but he's denying a lot of boost. 0 on the Exotic side, and maybe Fahad able to find some space here now. Full boost. Exotic had to go to corner. Patiently placing his shot, but again, Exotic so well read defensively. Can he turn it back around? He will. And a 6 goals now for SMPR. Exotic looking great on the counter.
The recovery is so good, staying with the play, and how quickly he challenges on the shot. Like, he doesn't allow a lot of time for Fahad to catch up on the ball and then potentially stiff that 50. It's Exotic speed when closing down on the play has been just picture perfect. Uh-oh, that's not good.
He's getting it again. He's done this a few times now. I think that's great. This kickoff.
Man. Love it. Hell yeah.
Well, what? Hold on a second.
Oh, let's go. I mean, listen, if you lose this now, you're in shambles. SMPR is going to have a long talk to him, because that was an interesting own goal. But I think even in this situation, I think for Fahad to win this, bear with me, he's going to have to flat out win it. He's going to have to take over this game, but I just don't know if there's enough time or if there's even going to be enough room for him to do so with such little boost. I mean, Exotic's taken both pads already. He got really nothing in the tank at 12. Like, good luck. Yeah, it's gone. He got nothing in the tank.
He's so good. He's been so good this entire series in all the game modes, because he's participated in all of them. Exotic is just on a different level. The control behind the ball, but also just the patience in the challenge game. Superior to OWL here, or OWL Esports here in this series, and definitely in this ones game. I think this was a very frustrating experience for Fahad.
For sure.
Who I think a lot of times wants a lot more control. This time with the kickoff, we'll poke it by. Exotic, I think, played it slow there, and Fahad showed him a different kickoff than Exotic expected. So 2-goal difference. And there is time.
You're saying it's possible.
Ones. It is possible, because you can get another kickoff goal, and all you need is possession off the next kickoff. But it's very improbable, Spaceman. Let's be honest.
Come on, Fahad. Come on, brother. Come on, brother. It's not gonna happen. All right. So that is series wrapped up, and moving on, it will be SMPR Esports.